So the backyard totally changed my outlook when I 7 miles into that race, lap number 2, and I fell and I broke my finger in my hand. Got to the finish line, had Ellen wrap me up, and I said I'm going back out. I went back out and I managed to get another 26 miles in, so a total of 33. I was officially an ultra runner in my mind because I made it.
You were ultra the moment you came in. You were shaking and your hand was like in a weird direction. And I was like, well, you should probably go. We could call someone. You're like, oh, no, I'm going back out. This isn't the end.
I trained for that race because I knew my body could handle it. And running is mental. In my mind, it's not physical, it's mental. I trained by running laps in my home because it's not safe for me to run on the road by myself, and I didn't have many running friends. So I ran laps in my home, and with the whole COVID quarantine when people were running marathons in their home, I was one of them. So I had the mental thing down. So breaking my hand, that was nothing. I could have broken my leg, and I still would have done that race. So that really pushed me, and I think that was maybe when he decided he was going to start coming in with me. He would go out there and do those training runs with me. He would go hiking with me. I put him through a lot.
It's great. Well, I work on the road, so I work 6 days straight. And on my days off, it's either you stay home by yourself or she's going to run. So it's like, I want to spend time with her. So it's not an option of, am I going to do it? It's, I'm going to do it. But like I tell her, I'm like, okay, well, we need to figure out what we're going to do today because I'm not doing 28 miles. Like it's, but it's like, I'm going to try to push myself to see what I can do now. And like Steph was saying, I'm never wanted to run a race, but I think I want to just maybe to have a goal to see where I can do or where I can go. But
for someone who's like starting, like what is the toughest part about starting to train?
My biggest issue is like, I watch all you guys run 100 miles and I'm thinking, boy, I'm struggling at a 5K, but yet someday I'll be there, you know? Sure. And then last year when I was at my heaviest, I could never do the backyard under an hour. So now I am 54 minutes, 53 minutes. So I mean, it's not huge, but it was a goal I wanted to set. I wanted to be able to accomplish the 1 hour. I think if you have your own personal goals instead of chasing everybody else's goals, I think it's so much simpler. Yeah. And I think I've breaking it down to that. And my mindset right now, I'm not running a 100 miler or a 50K. Let's, you know, my biggest so far has been a 10K. It was a fun race, you know, so it's, we'll see.
I agree, like, I still struggle with calling myself a runner because I don't consider myself a runner. I've run races, but in comparison to Stefen and all of you guys, I'm not a runner, but putting my own goals and making my own expectations for myself. Like now I proudly say that I'm a slow runner, and I'm very proud of saying that I'm a slow runner, but it's just different goals than what he has and what other people have. That for me was like by far the coolest part of the backyard was like watching you build friendships on the course. Like marathons aren't like that, half marathons aren't like this. You legit built friendships with these people that you ran with, and everyone was so nice and supportive. I had never been in an environment.
I kind of laughed to myself because I'd go out and take pictures every so often throughout. And these guys are just gabbing.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I can't even breathe when I run.
They're just do. I'm like, all right. Like
the atmosphere was so relaxed from you guys as the crews, the racers, the directors. I mean, still until this day, I have people that come up to me that go, "You did awesome at that race." It's amazing.
You were pretty hard not to know.
I know.
I'm
The
just
purple
saying.
hawk is really hard to forget. But it's just like everybody was rooting on everybody. It's like if you finish 1 lap or you finish 70 laps, I mean, everybody stayed to root everybody on. They came back on Saturday to root everybody on. The ones that did double down were there on Friday, and they, you know, it's just, it's a family. It's not a group of people doing like-minded things. It's a family. And like I said, it's like a month later, a week later, almost a year later, everybody's still talking about it. Everybody's still rooting everybody on. They're still asking, are you coming back and doing it again? And it's just like, it's the trail runner community, but it's just something about this race. I've participated in tons of races. This race just happened to been way different. And that's the best I can explain it. I mean,
Like, I also think, like, when you break it down, like, the actual, like, race itself, no, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not pushing yourself super hard when you're running, because you don't want to be coming in at 41 minutes, because you'll burn yourself out. So you're slower, like, you're intentionally running slower, so you're pacing yourself with other people on the route with you. So you really got to, like, chat with them and talk to them.
I didn't know what to expect at first when I started. I mean, yeah, no, I probably went doing my training runs. I always was trying to run as fast or as hard as I can. I mean, I don't really have a plan when I go out.
You never have a plan.
It just is like, okay, well, I want to go out. Supposedly this is, you know, Tiffany signed me up 5-6 weeks before this was occurring, so I figured I better go out to Sylvan Hill and see what the terrain is like. So I went out there and I just was like, okay, well, I just got to run up and down any direction.
You had the route not even close.
No, I was wrong. I ended up in people's backyards. And it was a mess. Okay, I know from everything I've read and looked at, to do this effectively, I have to like really rein it in and control what your speed is like. And I didn't probably do that very well the first half of the first lap. And then I was like, okay, I gotta walk. I gotta like take a break because otherwise I'm gonna burn myself out. And I found a couple people that I just like started chatting to. They've done races, longer races. Because before this, I did a full marathon. I did a half marathon and a full marathon.
So you guys are first time ultra runners with this race, and I saw time and time again that runners were going distances they'd never gone before. So what is it about the backyard format that helps, hinders? What do you think helped you guys that day?
to be able, I think what helped is to be able to break down and rationalize my goal. There was times that the stopping messed with my mental state, and I knew that, you know, I had those last 2 laps that I did, I pushed through that pain in my hand so much because I'm like, I know I'm not gonna make, I had 2-3 other goals to make. I'm like, I know I'm not making those, but I'm getting that 31 plus miles in, and that's it. I don't care if I have to crawl up that hill, I'm doing it.
Is you stopped and started with those same people. So, you know, a 50 mile or 100 mile, you might meet people along the way that you don't know and you can talk to them, but you might never see them again. Like either once they pass you or you pass them, you know, it's just kind of some of that acquaintance conversation. You might chat with them for a little bit, but if you're going faster, they're going faster, you may never see them again. This was one of those, I mean, your goal was to be with everyone at that start line and start with them every time on the hour. And no matter where somebody was or how far they were behind, you always wanted that last person to come in before the clock ran out.
All we have to think about is running. With the course laid out, you don't have to worry about, is the turn here, the turn here. We said all we had to worry about was just moving and being in an hour. I think the first few laps, a lot were very appreciative of that they could just do what they were there to do and just move. It was super key.
Yeah, and in the skill set, like you was said, you didn't need to, when going into this, it could have been somebody who's never reached a marathon goal before, somebody who's never reached the, you know, the ultra goal, somebody who's never reached 50. I mean, everybody had a variety of goals, and you ended up getting to know what each person's goal was. Some people, this was the first race that they have ran in a year and a half, and they're just looking to get out there and start running. And some people it was, you know, yeah, I've ran this before, so my next goal is anything above that. And some people, that's what they went out there to do, is, you know, they finished multiple laps, and, you know, their goal was as soon as they hit that, they're done.